Hello, so you can see on my design I've got my crosses, okay, but I've decided instead of black I'm going to do those in white so there's a bit more contrast because I think pop art shows quite a lot of contrast. So again I'm going to thread my needle, so I've got my white thread or yarn and I'm going to put that through the eye of the needle. The hole of the needle is called the eye. And try and get all those bits through. There we go. And remember to fold it in half, like I said, so because we don't want the thread to come off the needle. And it gives more contrast because it's chunkier stitches. So again, you get the two ends of the threads, you hold them together, and you create a loop like that. There's a loop. The threads go over the loop, pull the tail or ends through, and then you're going to be tying your knot, just like that. Okay, so they're kind of randomly scattered. I can see there's 3 over in this corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from the back, and I'm going to do a diagonal stitch. Diagonal stitch. That is the first part of my cross stitch. Okay, so now I've got to come up this side. Okay, so I'm going to go from underneath and I've got to work out where would be the most effective point to put my cross. So I think that's it. Oh, it's dragged a bit of thread through from the other side. And then I'm going to see where I want that cross to finish and go. So you've got 2 diagonal stitches. So there is a cross stitch just to, instead of having spots. I'll just cut those bits off from the back so they don't annoy me. Right, so I can see there's another cross over in this corner. So you can either knot it off and go there. That might be probably a good idea actually. So if I create a knot on that side, it's a lot of knotting here. So remember to go through your loop twice, and then that ties a knot. I'm going through a few extra times. Okay, and then cut that off. So there's my first cross stitch, and then we continue to repeat that. So create a loop, go over the loop, and then cross that. You could go directly to the next space, but as you pull, then what will happen is it will gather and it will crease your work. So there's my next cross stitch, and I want a diagonal stitch. And I want these to be quite visible and like, you know, bold, just like pop art is. You come up and go across. Okay, that will make my next cross stitch. Okay, nice and bright there. And again, go back to your last stitch, go underneath your last stitch. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a knot. Okay, and a double knot would usually keep in that stitch that you've just created. You can cut that off. So, and you carry on all over your work to be able to create those crosses, and that will form a nice contrast and pattern for your pop art patch. One more time. So my next one is about here. So up we come and we go across to create that diagonal stitch up where you want that next one to be. Check with your needle. About there. And then go across your stitch like that, and then back to your last stitch to knot it. So create a loop, go through your loop, that creates a knot. Try and double knot it, and then you can cut that off. So you can see that's starting to make quite a lot of contrast. And you can see it is similar to my design.